Hello, this is just a quick video because I thought, there's been so many random side effects and symptoms and all sorts of things and medication reactions that have happened since I've had my transplant that maybe I'm just going to list them all out there. So just in case any of you are like, oh my God, what's going on with me? Then, some of these might make you feel a little bit less alone. I'm going to put a list up at the end in text. Sorry, I'm looking up because the list's up there. So first of all, high fevers. I had a ridiculous amount of high fevers in hospital. Some from the ATG, which is one of the treatments I had before, a part of my conditioning. And then I had fevers afterwards. I had fevers on Christmas Day. I had fevers on New Year's Eve. Actually New Year's Eve was something else. So lots of fevers, but I've been pretty quiet on that for a while, touch wood. Probably a migraine as well on Christmas Day because I couldn't really open my eyes or look at the light. It was awful pain. After the transplant, I randomly got my scabs completely filling my nose, both my nostrils. They did give me a kind of cream for that. Pretty unpleasant. What's that about? Completely blood-filled eyes. That was while I was still in hospital shortly after the transplant. It cleared up quite quickly with some steroids. Presumably maybe a bit of GVHD or who knows what that was. Quite dry eyes. That's continued a bit, but it's not too bad. Red man syndrome, which is a reaction to something called vancomycin. Apparently it's if they give it to you too fast, so went completely red. I'm quite a red person anyway. I was more red, really red, and then it went all dry and horrible. Mucositis, most people get this at some point after transplants. It's a really sore throat. That was quite unpleasant. I could still eat though, so I was lucky. I had a feeding tube in case I couldn't eat, as you might have seen in my past video, but it was pretty painful. Receding gums, that's the chemo, I think. So I did actually go to the dentist yesterday and they made it sound not as bad as I thought it would be because suddenly I can see these big gaps between my teeth everywhere, which is fun. Terrible water retention while I was in the hospital, like a balloon. I actually lost 8 kilograms when they sorted it out. So that was pretty unpleasant. When they did a blood pressure, it felt like my hand was going to explode. And really low sodium. That was after I'd come out, and then I had to go back in for that. It was so low that they were worried I'd get brain damage. Fun. Full body rash. So that started in January, and to be honest, I'm still kind of figuring out how it works with the rashes. I've still got it all over my legs. I think it's coming back on my torso. Got cream. They don't seem too worried. It's GVHD, potentially a bit of a medication reaction. High liver enzymes. So they shot up after I'd had an antifungal. Alt was 840, I think, which is incredible. It's meant to be 30, I think, or 100, sorry. And my bilirubin went right up. They're now coming back down again. They've been steadily coming down for a few weeks. So might have been a bit of liver GVHD mixed in with the initial shock of the antifungal reaction. Didn't actually have any symptoms from that though. It was just all showing on blood tests. Skin completely peeled off my palms. They're still a bit of a weird colour. I don't know if it shows actually, but they're quite red. Just came off. It was like, when you have PVA glue on your hand. And it didn't hurt. That was fun. So I keep saying that was fun. I'm going to stop saying that after all of these. Bad pain in the soles of my feet. It hurt to walk for a bit. I found if I massaged in moisturiser, it stopped. So I'm assuming that's related to the skin peeling off the soles of my feet a bit. Not nearly so bad as my hands, not fully. So maybe that's where the pain was. It was kind of tightness. A very dry mouth and lips. I mean, it was awful in the hospital and it's been gradually getting better. But sometimes I get a really dry mouth and I didn't realise how bad that is for your teeth and gums as well. So I did have bought a mouthwash called Biocene, which is actually really good. Sorry, I'm just hoping I've got that name right. And it is really good. I'll put in the comments if I've got it wrong. And it's sort of like a moisturising mouthwash, which is quite amazing. I've got the white mucosa lichen planus, which is oral GVHD, just a little bit. So you can see sort of white marks across your cheeks and you get your teeth marks in your tongue, which is pretty weird. Altered taste. I'm lucky I only had that for a bit when I first got the oral GVHD. Curry was ridiculously hot. I couldn't taste cheese, which is an absolute tragedy. Nail stripes. Again, it's hard to know if it'll show up. Not really. But yeah, there are dark stripes on the bottom of my nails. to check that with the doctor. Apparently it's where the chemo basically killed them. So waiting to see how long they keep growing for. He said, oh, sometimes people's nails fall off. So looking forward to that one. Hopefully it doesn't show too much. I don't know. I've got a lot of spots on my face, tiny little spots, so it's kind of like acne. Presumably it's the steroids, it's various medications, it's hormones, it's oily creams I'm having to put on. So basically a teenager again. Peach fuzz face. Not sure it's showing here, but you know, the steroids, being on 100 milligrams of steroids gives you a little hairy face. So I've got a little peachy nose, slight on the tash. So hopefully that's going to go as they take me off the steroids. And finally, just a bit of a swollen face. It's not too bad for the amount of steroids I've been on. 100 milligrams is ridiculously high, but that was there. So again, that should probably go. Right, whistle stop 5 minutes there of all the things that have happened so far. So I'm going to put the list up now. So, you know, you can screen grab this if you want. And see you later. Bye.